Here we are, my friends. How's everyone doing today?
Good, Gare. How are you?
I'm excellent. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm excited that you're laughing already. So this is a good thing.
There's
Yeah,
fun in the studio. That's it. It's
yeah.
all good.
Oh, I see. I see, friends online. This is how it's going to be. Online versus studio. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to our May team meeting. We got a few happy faces on the screen. And I say that because a few of you turned on your cameras. Feel free to turn on your cameras. It's good to see everybody this way. Colin, what's going on, my man?
Well, we're about to hit off May team meeting. It's just a recap of the month, what we have happening leading up to the next month, June, and just some celebrations. We have some special guests coming on today, so it's going to be a packed team meeting where it's very insightful, and we're going to compress that all into just an hour and a bit, and then we get back to work.
Exactly. Jen, we should not move on any further without highlighting all the work that you and everyone else, more importantly, everyone else,
Yeah.
with Red Day. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
give us the Red Day highlights because it was pretty awesome watching from afar.
it was. Honestly, Red Day was so much fun. We had a great day. We had about 45 people fully engaged for the whole day, came and took time out of their businesses. We were walking through forests, we were picking up garbage. We got video footage of Jason like on a hill in a forest, putting garbage into a bag. We got about 7 to 10 bags of garbage from our local parks and trails. And then, more importantly, with our shredding event that Megan Waller did such an amazing job planning, that was running in the back of the brokerage area, we raised over $3,000 for the Life Center. And what's awesome about that is not only is that amazing when you think about how much shredding that is, but also that we surpassed the goal that they set for the day. So they were so grateful and thankful for us. And obviously, it's an event we're going to continue to support, and an amazing charity that we just love to be able to step up and be a part of, and guide and support them as well. So huge thank you and shout out to everybody who burned the cold, because it was an oddly cold Red Day. Thank God we didn't do a car wash this year. And we all got out there. There was a few Tim Hortons stops. I can see Sandy and Nicole and Jeff laughing because we were all people at Tim Hortons getting coffee and tea to warm up. But super rewarding day. We had a great barbecue in the back at the end and got to hang out and spend some time together. So all in all, amazing. Looking forward to next year. And thank you to everybody for your time and effort and energy. Our ALC did a phenomenal job. Our agents came out and just showed up huge, and we're super grateful to be in partnership with everybody. So thank you.
Excellent. As I said, it was pretty cool to watch from afar. Here's what I love. We're all on Zoom, and if we message and use the chat on Zoom, we're going to get instant notifications. If you took part in Red Day, donated time, money, or shredded paper or cleaned up, just type the word "I" in the comments, and you'll be surprised at how many people were involved in it. It's not a 10-person ordeal. It takes it takes a whole tribe, if you will, to communicate and obviously, yes, Nicole, I see your
Yeah.
I. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. This is good.
Yeah.
This is
And
good.
Nicole brought Kai with her, so he got to come out. We got to hang out with him. He's hilarious. That was really fun. We taught him some new jokes, which was awesome. And I didn't even mention, and I'm so sorry. We also had so many people that couldn't attend that donated money and have made a huge impact in helping us cover the cost of the event as well, getting the t-shirts, getting all the food for the barbecue. Nicole sponsored the barbecue, so thank you all so much for that additional support. Also, it did not go unnoticed.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. I'm going to share my screen again here, Jen, and you've got some people that we should probably welcome to our brokerage here. And let me just make sure this is all set. Let's do this and do this, and let's welcome these three wonderful realtors to KWRC, Jen.
Absolutely. We got Daniela Gomez, who's in the room. Hey,
Just
Daniela,
walked in.
welcome. Veronica Lukatsky and Katie Tanusin, who are all with us. And we're very excited to continue to support their business and help them grow and hit their goals.
Excellent, excellent, good stuff. We're going to highlight some of our top producers from last month, both as individual agents and, of course, our teams. And I'll let Jen and Colin take this piece.
Take it away, Jeff.
All right. So we got our top producers for April and GCI: Alexis Grassinger, Darren Maltese, Stuart Madden, Austin Clark, Allison Velchev, Tracy Kirstein, Tim Aturi, Michael Dinner, Haley MacArthur, and Paul Ireland. Congratulations, guys.
Absolutely. And this here is a testament to each and every one of our agents' hard work. We know it's a challenging market, but this is where our agents, they continue to step up and they show that it's possible. In a market like this, somebody is taking market share. And we can see right here, the top 10, they're really going after market share. So congratulations to everyone.
Good stuff. And moving forward,
All right, top producing teams, GCI for April. We've got Bolton Clements Real Estate Group, Team Teroff, Melissa Taylor Real Estate Team, Terry Hastings Team, and Volpe Alcorn Team. Congrats, everyone.
It's powerful seeing how this slide keep changing because they're just jockeying for the top.
Yeah.
And I love that. So well done, team.
Yeah, Volpe Alcorn boosted up to #1 this month. I think they were #2 last month.
Number
so
2, yeah.
good to see that traction.
Good stuff. And let's highlight some Canadian-wide awards here, Colin.
Oh, absolutely. Paul Ireland is #9 individual agents all across Canada. And we're looking at all the agents from coast to coast. Paul Ireland is 9 in terms of GCI year to date. So congratulations to him and obviously the support of his daughter. They've done some outstanding work. So Paul, congratulations.
Excellent. Okay, Colin, turn around and give Jen a high five because this is big as well.
Yes, yes, I saw that. And it's funny enough, Gear, because last team meeting, she skipped over it. I was like, she did not mention it. So thank you for pointing it out. Jen, obviously you model what every one of our agents need to do. And you're #2 in terms of appointment setting in all of Canada of all of the team leaders across Canada. So congratulations. You lead by example. It's an honor to be in business with you.
Didn't know that. Thank you very much.
Well, and it's similar to, guys, we talked about, Red Day being an entire tribe, an entire organization of KWRC, and of course, Keller Williams right across the world stepping in. And it's similar to how we help it, we acknowledge Jen, but it's really everyone else as well that helps get these types of stats. And of course, when you work at a great place, you want to share the great news. When you go for a great dinner, you want to share how awesome that dinner was. And it's similar to, working at KWRC and being a partner at KWRC. Share the good news because we want to work with the great agents that you come and talk with or contact with every day. So all good, my friends, all good.
Garrett, before we go on, I know Jen will also say there's no way she could have done this without the agents in our brokerage because constantly they're sending her referrals and that is how she's able to hit those numbers. So I know she's being modest right now, but I'm going to say it for her.
Thank you.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, my friends, we had a few special treats in store for you during our team meeting today. We always have special treats. Well, I think they're special. How's that sound? Awesome. And I know a lot of you will recognize the next speaker just perhaps by name or online, or you've seen Ben in person. Ben was one of the first people that I got to connect with in Kelowna when he was passing through one day. He's like, "Gare, I'm in town. Let's go for a coffee." And sure enough, as he raises his coffee mug, because I can see it in the background there, we got to connect again. And Ben is one of these types of guys that, sometimes when you listen to a speaker or a trainer or a coach or whomever it might be, it doesn't matter, it's just someone in your life, and you're like, man, that makes sense. Why am I not doing that? Or why am I not thinking this way? Or I've always thought this way. It's nice to know other people are thinking this way, and making it a conversation where, Colin, that it's okay to have sometimes, right? We don't often think about some of these conversations. Well, no, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for whatever. And it's okay to have these conversations because that's really what ignites us. And as you can see on screen here, he's got a conference coming up and Colin's going to be a part of it. We're going to talk about that briefly after Ben shares with us the sales to scale. He'll explain what all that is. But Ben, I'm going to highlight you. Unmute yourself there and I'll hit the spotlight on you.
Let's go.
Man, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Gary. Good to see you. I was happy to see Colin, but we got the cherry on top with Gary. Come on.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Beautiful.
Ben, I'm going to hand it right over to you, my
Sure.
friends. You're in for a bit of a treat over the next several minutes. And Ben, the floor is yours. You take us wherever you want to take us, my friend.
Awesome. Can you give me sharing power? I'll share a little bit
Yeah,
of
that'll
slides.
be Jen. Jen, go ahead and make sure Ben can share there.
Give me the power.
Hold
I
on.
got to see Ben maybe one of his first,
Should be
call it
good.
public coaching or speaking experiences. That has to be close to
The
15 years.
Toronto Botanical Gardens in the top little room we had, yeah?
You got it, my man. You got it. You got it.
Amazing,
All
man. I
right,
love
take
it.
us.
I love that we're getting old, because then we can be like, man, that's like 15 years ago, Gary. All of a sudden we're our dads. It's like we're 15 years ago. We've known each other. It's like, shit, that's a long time. So
No
anyone
doubt.
that's in their 20s, beware. Beware, you're gonna get old. Okay, let's get plugged in. I know I've only got about 15 minutes. We've got an event coming June 11th. We have an incredible speaker, Colin. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing. Colin's one of our speakers at our event. But let me tell you a little bit about the event. But before I get into like just talking about the event, I'll just tell you a little bit about my background. I'm not sure. There's probably some people that know me, but just for the sake of kind of catching people up, I'll kind of introduce myself in a second. But what I'll do is this. First of all, last year we went across the country. We had over 1,000 agents attend our events in 7 different cities. This was a picture. I think if you look close enough, I'm sure someone in there from Keller Williams, I think there's 20, 30 guys that came. So I know they're in there somewhere. This was last year and it was amazing. It turned out very well. This year, we're going into theaters across the whole country. We got 8 cities. And this is I think this was Calgary or Edmonton, one of the two. And so it's free popcorn and drinks. It's chill, great seats. We were a little bit nervous when we thought, are we gonna ditch the conference centers? And man, are we happy to ditch the conference centers. It's such a different vibe. Look at the size of that screen. Like Colin's head is gonna be so big on that screen. It's the funnest thing. It's like you're standing there, you look up. So it's pretty awesome. So the next thing is this. If you were thinking, what is this event? It's the only event that shows agents how to double their business without doing everything themselves. Now, in this industry, everyone's looking for their next sale. So that's really, really important. But there's a business model change that gets missed. So you start and you sell, you get all your sales going, you start servicing, you get to that 150 grand a year, and we think, oh, I just have to work harder and get more sales and it'll continue to grow. It doesn't, because your service starts dropping, you have too much on your plate, you literally are working at night. So the model needs to change from hustler salesperson, but you need to learn the hustler salesperson work. Critical for any bit of success. You gotta grind your face off at the beginning and you gotta be able to chase leads. That's a big, important part of this job. But you have to turn into a business owner that knows how to hire a staff, give them direction, and give them some jobs so you can do money-making activity. It's a different model. So that's the basis of everything I do in coaching and everything we talk about on stage. So this event is called Sales to Scale. So you need to learn sales and you need to learn how to scale. So back in the day, guys, I'm a purebred sales guy back in the day, from door-to-door sales. I dominated every single sales contest, from selling chocolate bars, like Christmas lights, oil changes, because I had a brutal childhood, to be honest. I had a dad that was narcissistic and abusive. And the only time he would ever like me is when I worked hard or do sales. So I got pretty self-aware after I went through a lot of hard stuff. I've done a lot of psychology work. And it's like, oh, that's why I was so driven to sell and work hard. No, guess what? I became a pretty damn good sales guy and I can work hard to this day, but I don't need it anymore. That doesn't drive me anymore. But my background is I just dominated in sales. I ended up living on the streets and I had to convince people for bus fare to sleep at their houses. So it's a weird thing to think about. Hey, Ben, how did you get good at sales? Well, it was that or living in Edmonton. I live in Vancouver today, but I lived in Edmonton, and in the winter, you definitely are convincing. I need a place to sleep. Can I sleep at your house? So closer, I became a closer, not because of scripting and not because of sales training, is because of desperation. And so this was me. I was graduating. I went to a 365-day rehab center. and I became the booking and rehab event manager and raising money. So man, again, back to sales. Hi, church. You want a couple drug addicts to come in and tell our story and we can actually take an offering for us? That was my first job. Hey, schools, it'll be fun. A bunch of drug addicts come in and tell their story. And so I had to do that. We did golf tournaments. We did sponsor a student. So it's again using the ability to sell, but it was in a good way this time versus selling drugs, okay? And I don't do that anymore, just disclaimer. Okay, the next thing is I get headhunted with a furniture company out of Calgary, and they're a commercial furniture company, so it's not like Staples. They make the furniture. I sold $2.5 million of desks my last year before I left. Like I just went for it and I started asking for business. This is the same system now that I used to become rookie of the year in real estate in Edmonton. My first year was like $450,000 in Edmonton, rookie of the year. The same system I used here, and that's the same system I'm actually going to be showing everyone at the event from the sales part of the event. Then I started real estate investing. I bought 41 properties in 14 months. Was just a maniac. The market was on fire, and so was I. Ended up with 61 properties. But then we hit the crash. And that's when like psychology hits really hard. Is all of a sudden you got 20 some investors saying, Ben, can we get our money? And I'm like, holy crap, I don't know how to navigate this. I didn't realize how insane, like we have financial planners jumping out of buildings. I didn't know that. I'm just a kid banging out real estate deals, knowing how to sell. It was a massive transformational time for me. Very hard process to go through. I own a portfolio of real estate still, but I'm now officially, as of last year, no investors. That's how long it took us to kind of unwind. If you ever want to hear about that over a coffee, that's a whole nother story, but amazing learning for me. Then I started becoming a business coach. I transferred my company, it was called 20 New Clients, and I started coaching. So this is before I was even an agent. I started taking companies and showing them how to sell, but by that time, I understood personal growth. I had done years of psychology, working on my own shit, my past stuff. I understood all kinds of psychological stuff. And so I worked with these businesses and I'd work on their head and their heart and their businesses would take off. So I was working on that. And sometimes I'd work with real estate agents. And one day I said, what if I became an agent? Like, and just niched everything I got into real estate. Like what would happen? So it's not the typical coach story where I got sick of the business and I'll just coach agents now. And the thing is, what it is though, is that I started coaching real estate agents, but I did it from the ground. So I convinced like 15 agents to join my launch program. I was literally called my real estate launch program. And we literally launched together. I said, this is the only time you'll ever see me. And I won rookie of the year. Within 2 years, we built a team, and 9 years I sold my business. But this was my team before I sold it. And then back to coaching. And this is my company today, Real Estate Reboot Coaching. Very much focusing on sales, systems, team, and mindset. Now, let's go into a couple things so you can understand what you're going to get at this event if you guys come to the event. There's a few places agents get stuck, okay? They get stuck at 80 grand, 150, 250, 408. And every one of those places you get stuck is a model change problem. Effort might be able to get you from 80 to 150, okay? Straight, hardcore effort. But the problem is, once you're 150, 200, 400, unless you're in like a multi-million-dollar area, like 10 sales gets you 400, those guys are spoiled brats and they don't know how to run a company, but they're just easy to do 10 deals. So sorry. But we're talking like 20, 30, 40 deals. That's a real company. Like you're starting making 20 deals a year, you got shit to do. 10 deals, that's not even a deal a month. So there's less stuff to do. That's all. Less volume. A little spoiled in Vancouver, Toronto. There's a couple of these guys who are like, this is the best business in the world. I made a sale and I made 80 grand. I'm like, wow, that's a spoiled person, because it's like, how do you run a business? And then when times change, they have to lean in pretty hard. But between 150, 200, 400, and 800, the model of the business needs to change. Hustle cannot get you past the 250 to 400. 400 is the most I've ever seen, but the guy's got no life. The guy's got nothing going on except real estate 24 hours a day. After 400, there's just no way you can get to 800 just on your own. Now, here's the model. And I'm moving quick because I know you guys have a meeting to do. So here's the thing. When you're building your business from the start or restarting or getting stuck in that cycle, which sucks, there's a 90-day process to filling your funnel. So you need to go out and what are you doing? Open houses, networking, talking to strangers, calling, I need a deal. Anyone coming in from sign calls? Like, hey, what do I do? And talking to maybe networking. And you guys know if a gun puts to your head, you know what to do. You're going to go desperately ask 1,000 people and try to find a sale. But when you don't have any clients and you don't have any past clients, that's great. It fills the bucket very quickly. The problem is it starts putting it into your servicing your clients, which is another 90-day system. Because you don't find someone and they buy. It might take 2 years to let them buy. Just they shop at houses, deals fall apart. But then after that process, they go into the after the sale bucket. The problem is this. If we don't have systems and procedures and an assistant and some help, all your time here goes full. And then all of a sudden you're splitting your time here servicing your clients, and this prospecting bucket is not filling up anymore. So 90 days later, because you're looking at your whiteboard, you're probably here today. You look at your whiteboard and you're like, yeah, baby, paycheck, 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 spring market. But beware, in 90 days, your prospecting efforts will expose you because you didn't prospect while you were serving clients. It's like, oh, I got busy. It's finally working. Hey, no, it's not working because we didn't fix the first bucket. We just moved to the second bucket. And then let alone, once you get to the after sale, which is the living on referral model, no one gets touched. It's like, oh, I call them once in a while and I do this and that, but there's no actual taking care of the base. So here's the model we want to look at building. We want the prospecting to fill up. It moves to servicing your clients, which is client experience, operational system, assistant, and team. It goes into your after sale bucket, and that's systems, okay? You have all your systems for taking care of your clients, but now it's not a leaky bucket. It's a pipeline, and your prospecting bucket is full at 30, 40%. The moment you wake up in the morning, you always have 15 to 30 people waiting to buy. So that's a proven system over 20 years. This is the one to work with. But we usually focus on prospecting. And then when we surface clients, we forget about prospecting. You're like, oh shit, prospecting. And then the after the sales systems just don't get built. Okay. So at the event, we're going to walk through our systems. So I'm not doing it today, but this is every one of these is a system. You got your first time hire, CRM organized, re-engagement campaigns, red carpet closings, 90-day magnet, birthday systems, Christmas in July, sold letters. These are all of our systems we work in coaching. And just so you know, when I run an event, I'm not here to pitch. I'm here to you walk away saying that was the best event I've been to in my life. And you walk away saying, holy shit, that was more value than I've ever got to any other event. Because you know why? I'm a super long game person. If we ever fit for coaching, we never have to sell. It's a conversation, we fit. So we don't even worry about that at the event. We just want to give as much value as we possibly can. So you'll tell the world that when the next event comes, you'll tell a friend. At the end of the day, 10 years later, we'll talk. It just is the best plan. Gary, 15 years, you've been seeing me do this. It's the same thing, value, value, value. And that's the game. That's why we're on this call. Why are we on this call? It's not it's like we've known each other. But now let's pause for a second before I finish up. If we don't deal with the person behind the business, systems don't work, prospecting doesn't work, nothing works. So we are going to do these topics at the event. We're going to hit procrastination, insecurities, people pleasing, perfectionism, fear of rejection, overwhelm, low energy. Are you an avoider? Never enough, impatient. This is the shit I worked with from going from a broken human being to a successful person who has a family, I'm a good husband now, I'm a good dad, I'm a great coach, and we run a business. How do I get to that place? It was these things that I had to work out. So we're not just going to give you systems, we're going to work on you as a human being. And that's the difference inside our coaching, event. I'm not going to tell you stories. I'm going to break down the event really quickly. So first part of the day is non-cringy sales strategies. These are the things that dominated me on every industry I did. And there's not scripts. It's really based out of building relationships at scale and connection. But we're going to show you some actual strategies you can implement right after the event. We're going to talk about a wealth mindset, kind of a workshop. And those are what we talked about, all those different things about procrastination, fear. We're going to work through some of these mindsets to unlock you. If you're not unlocked at the end of the event, I'll be surprised because there'll be something in there that'll go, huh? You'll get a huh. The next one is operational aftercare systems. We're going to walk through our systems and give you a few really nice plug and play systems. We're also going to talk about team. There's two ways to look at it. How do you pick a team? How do you build a team? And we're going to talk about an actual team offer, not just here, have lead gen, give me 50%. That's kind of shitty. You can do better than that. Now, the last thing is where Colin comes in. We got some handpicked people, and we're running it like TED Talks. We're done with the panel where there's one or two guys that talk. It's Colin is going to talk. about what is the one thing that he would share if he had 10 minutes to share to a group of real estate agents, and it's the last thing he ever gets to do to real estate agents. What would that talk be? So we've got a handful of very cool people, all real estate related, and they're all going to be sharing that. So you'll be getting packaged strategies every single 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. That's what's happening at the event. Now, here's a little feedback really quickly. These are we ask for feedback after every event. These are this year. So some of them are like, it's like, how is this event compared to other real estate events? Not comparable. I love Ben's style. I've been to so many, I can't really compare honestly. Not pushy or sales. Ben's approach is much different than most. He's engaging, not boring to listen to, gives great information, completely different. Another one was, this one was a very big eye opener. Gave me strategies I haven't got anywhere else. Right up there with the very best. 10 out of 10, easy to listen to, 10. I think this is better because it's more about betting on yourself to better your business, not the same old sell more real estate through traditional models. No high pressure. And then so we ask for feedback for everyone. So usually it's like 7, 8, 10s, usually 8, 9s, and 10s. It's across the board. So that's not from me. That's just actual feedback. Now, June 11th, the website. So if you want to, if one of your team could throw that in the chat real quick, realestatereboot2025.com. Okay. Now, here's the deal. With Colin being a speaker, we're getting tickets for all of you guys. We have room. And so here's the deal. Go click on that button. And what we're going to do is go to Toronto. Do you have it in the chat? I didn't even look. It's in the chat.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, Ben. We'll get it there.
Okay, let's throw it in. Let's see here. I can throw it in. Okay, so here's why. Here's the thing. If I can spell right, let's see if I got it. Maybe test it, make sure it's right. That's the website. You choose the Toronto event. Now here's the deal. Awesome. We got Keller Williams. Everyone can put in Colin guest. It's June 11th and Colin guest. But here's the thing. You got to use your credit card number, but it's not going to charge you. It's just how the system is to give a free ticket. So Colin and Gary, thank you so much for letting me come share this with your beautiful brokerage. I really appreciate you guys so much.
Ben, it's always a pleasure to connect with you. I mean, like you're absolutely right. I think the last event last year, we had 2 tables, I think 2 or 3 tables, and everyone that came back from that event just spoke highly of it. And what I like about your systems, your training, you really tackle psychology, and then you go into the mechanics of let's focus on your mind first. And then once we've done that, let's focus on the actual mechanics of how we're going to build your systems. So, dude, you've always been phenomenal. We first connected how many years ago when we were in a room in rain, all learning how to buy real estate. And here we are, how many years later, we're still connected. So thank you. I appreciate you. Can't wait to see you.
Amazing. By the way, on my screen was a spelling error on the code. So real trip up there. So it's Colin guest. I think, what did I put? Coin guest, which is like, because I messed with the slide, and my team should actually I should have been like, can you get this done for me? Like, no, I'll get it done. And then I screwed up. That's how it works. Colin guest. So love you guys. You guys have an amazing meeting.
Appreciate you.
Excellent.
See you later.
See you guys.
Yep. Back
And
to you.
I know for those that have experienced Ben's training before, when he says he does not do any sales from the stage, he is 100% accurate. That's what I think. That's what keeps people coming back for more, because he speaks. Obviously, Ben is the type of guy that has his heart on his sleeve, and he shares it quite not dramatically. That's not the word. Effectively, and knows how to connect. And one of my most favorite things that I love telling people, and I learned it from Ben, is when we go to, let's say, a listing presentation, or you're going out with buyers to purchase a home and you're looking at different homes, he used to tell his team, this is the one thing I want you to learn from this meeting, my friends, when you're going to do a buyer consult or anything like that, is see if you can identify what closing gift you're buying your client. And think about what that does for a moment. That makes you, as the agent, have to go ask a whole bunch of questions. And that closing gift is not a bottle of wine, unless unless it's something near and dear to that client. It's something, every closing gift is very specific to the client. And that's one of the reasons why his team and he was able to do what he did with the number of clients and repeat clients and referrals, because he really connected with his clients and got his team and teaches that. And that stuck with me since day one. And that's one of the really cool things that you're going to learn through this sales to scale, because it's not about how many deals we can do, it's about how many people or how many lives we could affect in a positive way.
Well, that's smart.
Good stuff. Okay, moving forward. Let me share my screen and we'll get cracking on here. We're going to be doing this and this, and then there we have it, my friends. So yeah, make sure you go to that website, get your tickets, and so on. Jen, remind us how John and Drew are sharing their knowledge with commercial real estate.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm becoming their official spokeswoman. So John and Brock are John and Brock. Why do I keep doing that? Last month it was Matt and Gizzy. I don't know.
And the name is still stuff.
It's still, I know. John and Drew, sorry, Drew, are KWRC commercial partners, and their role is to help our agents. And so what I mean by that is, if you're a residential agent and commercial isn't a space you have knowledge in, it's a space you have no interest in, or it's an area you want to learn more about, but you don't know where to start, reach out to John and Drew, connect them with your clients, have them facilitate the process. You can shadow them. You can hand it off to them. You can ask them to mentor you. They're open to all three options. And on top of that, they are going to be continually running training and guidance within the brokerage to help support our agents who do want to learn more. So they are in-house commercial partner team. They're there to support you. They're there to help your clients. They know what they're talking about. They've been doing this at a high level for years. They're both very professional. We've used them ourselves with our team and refer them to close friends of ours and have nothing but raving feedback about that experience. So please reach out. Don't do a job that you don't know how to do and lose the opportunity. Go and partner with somebody who can walk you through it, who can take care of the process, and you can learn along the way. And then you also get to make some money, because making some money is better than not making any money. So John and Drew, I will not do it again. John and Drew are there to support. Reach out. Their numbers are on the screen. You can always reach out to me, to Colin, to Dylan, anybody, to get their contact info as well. Happy to share it.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Okay, moving forward. Our favorite legal corner and lawyer firm, Simona. You know, here's the cool thing. Some of you know I was back in the Newmarket area last month, and I finally got to meet Simona in person, and she's just as cool online as she is in person, Simona. And we got to interview you on our little podcast, which will come out shortly. It was really cool to get to know you. Thank you for the time that we spent together and how you're partnering with KWRC.
Thank you, Gary. And I finally realized that you are real. Okay. For the longest time, I'm like, no way, this guy is AI. And I got to see you in person, which was awesome.
Yeah, I am not Snuffleupagus or the Pokeroo.
No, that's right. And thank you so much for having me here today. You know, the last few weeks has been great. I've had a lot of contact with a lot of the KW family, and they're really using us as tools. And that's what we want to be. We want to be a tool to your business. And we just want to help you thrive in any way that we absolutely can. So a lot of you have been reaching out and asking questions about different conditions, how to write out different conditions. You know, our response times is something that we pride ourselves on. You know, we want to be available for any questions, any answers, even if you may be using another legal office and you just have a question. It may be a landlord-tenant question. It may be something small. We are always available. And we want to support each and every one of you. We want to make sure that, you know, you are selling and you are trading as much as you possibly can. So I implore everyone, call us, use us as tools, because we want to be your knowledge so that your clients just keep coming back to you.
I love it. So we often say, if I may, we often say, you know, one of the first calls should be to our mortgage broker, Nicole, and Nicole will be on screen with us shortly here. But sometimes, as well as I think it's incredibly important to introduce our clients to you know, the lawyer that we would recommend, and you and your firm in this case. Does that happen enough? What I'm trying to get at is that needs to happen more, not 5 days before closing. It needs to happen, as soon as you have a contract in place. Here's our lawyer, get to know them. And does that help that whole deal or that whole conversation much help, a smooth closing, all that type of thing?
It does, because once you speak to us, you have a lot of that pressure taken off, and the process becomes more exciting, less stressful, and you can actually see that we're very personable. It's not that stereotypical law firm that, you leave a message, you don't hear back from someone in 3 days. We tell everyone, you want to call us at 8 o'clock at night? Call us. If you have a Sunday afternoon question, do it, because it just makes the process that much easier.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I got an idea here, and you might say, Garrett, go get lost. But that's okay. I'm going to throw it out here anyways, because this is what we do. And this goes back to Ben, who was just on screen with us. And I remember one of the first early things that Ben was doing. And of course, as we heard, that he was trading in Edmonton, Alberta. And in Alberta, the role of the information, hey, your house just closed, falls on the responsibility of the buying agents. In Ontario, we're accustomed to that's typically the lawyer that's closing the property would call. Simona, is there an opportunity that perhaps you and whomever you're working with from the buying agent, that you could give the buying agent that, hey, the house just closed, go call your clients, take over that amazing gift? Because we always assume it has to be, we have to follow everything that we've done for the last 40, 50 years, and it has to be the lawyer. But is there space to create that amazing experience, that closing experience with the clients?
Absolutely. And I tell every agent that works with us that I'm going to call them on closing day to let them know the second the money is in the account. So they are the first to know, and they have the opportunity to call their client and congratulate them. So it gives them, they started with them, they should finish with them. We're just doing the work in the back end. That's all it is. So I will always let the agents know first, hey, we're just back from the bank, it's closed. Call and congratulate your clients.
I love it. Colin, no, seriously, go congratulate your clients.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is what I love, my friends. I love when we get to partner with open-minded and forward-thinking partners like Simona and the firm. Simona, thank you so much for everything that you're doing and supporting us and helping our agents build, stronger and better businesses. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Jen, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce our next guest. I see him on screen here. And Shane, you look like you're ready to go. Good stuff. Jen, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Shane, how's it going?
Hey, Jen, I'm good.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. I am so pumped about this. Shane and I met last week. We've been looking at this platform for a little while, and I'm officially convinced it's going to be a solution to one of our biggest pain points in the brokerage. So Back at You is an all-inclusive social media platform where you can pay a very low monthly fee. I'm going to let Shane explain it in detail, but I'm actually really excited. So I'm going to give you a little insight. And they can manage your entire social media for you, all automation. It will run out, it'll push out, it'll look like you, it'll be branded the way you want it to, and they're going to help you get engagement and help you grow your business through that social media platform. So if that is an area where you want to leverage because you don't love it, you're not passionate about it, or quite frankly, like me, you just don't know how to do it, then this is a great opportunity for your business. So Shane, I'm going to throw it to you. Take it away. And I think you should have share screen option set up. Yeah.
Perfect, Jen. Well, that's a great introduction. And are you able to see my screen okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks good.
Okay, perfect. By the way, I've been presenting at Keller Williams Market Centers for 22 years now. I'm kind of dating myself, whether it's in person or on Zoom, and this is the best one I've been to. So everybody's been on time. I have 15 minutes. What I'm not going to do today is go through an entire demo like I did with Jen 2 weeks ago and click on all the buttons. I shared a story with Jen about my own Keller Williams agent in Nashville, and she thought it would be relevant for me to share it with you. So I'm going to spend most of the time just talking about Denise and then how we can help you with your social media and automate a lot of things for you so you could be more like Denise. And Ben mentioned earlier growing your business without having to do everything yourself. I think we fit in line with that for sure. So Denise, little backstory. My wife and I moved to Nashville from California, along with everybody else from California. We're all here now. About 4 years ago, we came out 6 months early. We weren't sure where we were going to live. We just wanted to drive around and look at neighborhoods and check out the area. And as we were driving around one of the neighborhoods, Denise walked out of one of the homes. She'd been the buyer's agent. They closed on the home and she was coming out of the property. She met us. Of course, she'd love to work with us. I let her know, look, Denise, we're 6 months out. And to be honest, everybody in the call, I was not at a point, I was not going to pick an agent at that point. The market was crazy. I wanted to make sure I had an experienced agent, and I was not ready to sign a buyer broker agreement with Denise. I'm 6 months out. So I thought Denise, and by the way, I was not staring at agents' social media pages like I do now because I was not working for Back of You at the time. What Denise did in that moment, which in hindsight is very smart, she said, why don't you and Sarah, my wife, follow my Instagram page? Right? That was easy. We just started following her. She said, look, I post our company listings. I post things going on in Nashville. You get a sense of the community. So we started following Denise. And for the next 6 months, I'm a 50-year-old man who spends about 2 hours a day on Instagram. I don't know if that might be embarrassing to say out loud, but I'm sure we're all on there doom scrolling. Every single day that I was on there, we saw Denise. Every single day. She wasn't calling us. She wasn't emailing us. We just saw Denise, and it was her page was filled with listings. To be honest, I don't think I was clicking into any of her content and reading the 4 signs to renovate my home. I just wasn't. I wasn't commenting. I wasn't liking, but she was in front of us every single day. And when it was time for us to move, she obviously had it on her calendar because she called us right about a month before we thought we were going to be moving. And when she called us, we just immediately thought, Denise, we just figured we knew her. And we also thought she dominated the Franklin market area. So when we chose Denise, the result of her just having a professional page that she was consistent with, the result was this. She found my family and I our home. She listed and sold the home next door to us within the first year of us living here. I knew my neighbor was selling. I told Denise, you should write them a personal letter and put it on their doorstep. She did. She got an interview. They asked me for a reference, and I said Denise would be great. Within year 3, she listed and sold the home across the street. So now she has 3 transactions on my street, and a lot of that just came from her having a professional looking Instagram or Facebook page. Now, I found out later that Denise, when we met her, she was only 3 to 4 months into her real estate career. She'd been working in pharmaceutical sales. She had 0 sales. She had very few clients. She worked with a couple buyers and closed transaction, but she had never had her listing. This was her first listing, was the one she got next door to us. And she's become a very good family friend. And now that I'm working at Back at You, I kind of hammer with, well, what were you doing back then? And what she was doing is she was hustling. She was using command. She was going in there. She was building out her content. She was putting them on the calendar. She was going around the market center asking every agent, can I have permission to post your listings? Getting permission, posting it. And it was manual and it was a lot of work. So what we can do is just give you this impression of Denise, like this look and feel, without you having to do anything. We can automate as much of this as you need, even 100% if you need to do that. So if you want to look at like an actual client of ours, Keller Williams Co-Elevation uses our program kind of brokerage wide. This is one of their agents using our program. So a couple things. We tie into the MLS. So I take a listing, within 3 hours, we post it through all of your social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you have a connection. What we can also do, and Jen asked me to make sure I mention this, is we can pool the listings from within the market center for any agents that opt in their listings to have those listings also hit all of the other agents' social media pages, right? So when somebody is vetting you and you're going to a listing presentation on Tuesday and they go check out your Instagram page, you better have listings on there. You got to look like you're in business. And if you're brand new to the business, you might not have that many on there. So we want to give that kind of Denise impression. We have a lot of local content, obviously listing content. This is what it would look like on a Facebook page. Here's a guy with 1,000 followers, and 100% of everything on this guy's Facebook page is coming from us. The only responsibility that you guys have as an agent is you would go into this program, go into settings, click on content, connect your socials. If you don't have a business page, there's a 2-button wizard. We can help you set the thing up. Go in and put in the areas that you work in, because a lot of the content, like restaurant reviews, things like that, are going to be specific to your areas. And then under manage content, this is the library of content that we give you. Sure, you can uncheck things off if you don't want everything, but this is everything that we could offer as far as automations. And then every single month, instead of you having to go in and build out your calendar, you could just log in here, look at your calendar for the next 30 days, and see everything that's scheduled out. You could always go in here and you can make edits and you can change things around and you can swap content in and out. But the real value is here is that you're not having to do that. You could forget your password tomorrow to back at Use Social Bay, and the system's going to work for you on your behalf and continue posting in front of your followers. The goal at the end is if you're posting a minimum of 15 times a month, that's 180 posts a year. That's potentially 180 touches that you have on your followers that are following you on social media, right? And that's kind of the end goal here. I'll stop there, Jen. If we end up doing some kind of a thing with the brokerage, we'll do a rollout call. We'll do trainings. We'll walk you through everything. But today was really kind of high level, just to give you an idea what we can help you with.
Yeah, I love it, Shane. Thank you. And the automation is the key part of this conversation. And Ben alluded to that too in his convo of your systems are what are going to help you roll through and get that repeat and referral business, as well as get new people engaged in seeing your branding and marketing. We know we need to be on social media. It's proven. Does it need to be our number one method? No, but will it help enhance our business, help us be in front of our clients more, help people remember who we are? Absolutely. And this is just a great tool for that. So Shane, do you mind running through the cost of it real quick, what it would look like?
Yeah.
If you did want to raise their hand and sign up?
So we have around 4,500 KW agents use it individually. They pay $75 a month for us to kind of run this for them. What I've negotiated with Jen is if we have enough participation in the brokerage, it's going to be anywhere from $20 to $28. I think 15 is the minimum we need to kind of put it together. So at that number, we'd be at like $28 a month. If we're above 25, then it goes down to 20. But I'll leave it at that. Jen and I can talk next week after she's kind of got an idea from you who wants to participate. Jen, anybody has a question, just shoot it over to me. Feel free to share my contact information. People can contact me directly too.
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. I will. Thank you so much for your time and the overview. And I just want to make sure you're clear on that. There was $20 to $30 a month for a fully automated social media platform that your clients and past clients and friends and family are going to see 180 times a year at a minimum, because you can go in and add content. You can put in videos. You can do reels that double down on the actual posts themselves. So this is just a starting point of getting your business up and running without any additional effort other than connect your socials and let it run and pay $30 a month. You can't even pay a VA that amount to get that same sort of production. So it's a huge opportunity. I see people posting in the chat that they're interested. If you are, put your name in. I'll put it in the socials in our group chats as well. I'll get everyone connected and we can have a bigger conversation about what that's going to look like for the brokerage. And Derek, sorry, you had a question there. Sorry, we just have
Perfect, Jen. And I wanted to add one other thing. Well, we just sold our house. We had a second house in Las Vegas and we sold that property. I don't know any real estate agents in Las Vegas. I mean, I really just was going in blind trying to find somebody. The way I look for them is through their social media. So what I'm saying is, even if you only have 2 followers, people are still going to vet you through your Instagram page and your Facebook page. They are not necessarily going to go to your website. And if you don't have content and you don't have listings on there and you don't look like you're in business, right, that could come back and hurt you. So I think agents feel like, oh, I got to have 500 followers. I got to have all this engagement. You got to have a base of
Did we lose connection there? Here? Here looks like he's frozen too.
It might be us.
Wow. Okay. How is your connection there?
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good freeze. Everybody looks good.
It's a
It
good
wasn't in a
freeze, yeah.
weird spot.
Gary's smiling. He looks pretty happy. Yeah. Yeah.
He sees the ad and it. Oh, I think they're joining. Welcome back. Welcome back. I was just saying how important it is to keep posting, even though it feels like we're not getting any engagement on our post, because as we all do that scroll, you still see, oh yeah, there's Jen, there's Colin, there's this listing, there's that listing, and they posted another one. So keep doing that, and Back at You looks like an awesome platform to manage that for you. That's a really cool find, Jen. Well done. Good stuff. You're muted to remind you there.
Thank you for noticing that, Gary. There was some important stuff I was saying.
Yep.
You missed it. It's interesting to see, because a social media game plan, it's less than $1 a day. That's what I'm hearing. Less than $1 a day. And you have a social media game plan. Yes, and you mentioned, Gary, about the engagements. How many times are you scrolling on your phone, whether it's Instagram? You're not necessarily liking everything, but you're still seeing that person's posts, and now you're top of mind. It's the same thing. Less than $1 a day, you can get this. I think this was an amazing find. Jen, thank you so much for bringing this to the brokerage.
You're welcome. Yeah. And so Darren asked in the room about, it's an American company, so the Canadian content, how would that work? What does it look like? I did ask those questions. They actually have a switch in the back end of their system, so they flip it to Canadian, and all of the content is Canadian based. They have teams vetting and sourcing and creating all of that Canadian content. It's all Canadian language and spelling, and it's actually focused on the Toronto MLS and our local markets as well. So across Ontario, but specifically we'll be targeting our own local geographic pockets, right? So they have fully got a solution for that. They are currently also supporting Century 21 in Canada at a high level. So a lot of that content is from this team. And then Ryan McLean's office, Co-Elevation in Toronto, are also leveraging. Right now, they're the only people in Canada, aside from hopefully us, that are leveraging this platform. And what I love about it is it's not like City Blast and those, were just an article with a link and everyone gets the same post on their page. It's going to be specific to you. So that's also a really nice touch that I've never seen before.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, and thank you, Shane, for giving us the time today. Another quick thing while we're on the social media and marketing side of things, really quick nugget. I'm sure you guys have seen it online. There is an announcement coming. They haven't made it public yet, but it's been kind of squeaking out there. Keller Williams International has signed a partnership with Canva. So in Command, in our design center, the existing design center is going to be gone once that contract expires, I believe in the summer this year. And we'll be plugging into Canva within our system. All of the branding, all of the colors, all of your stuff will be linked to it. You'll be able to promote your listings. There'll be pre-made Keller Williams templates that you can plug and play as well. They will be putting out a public release. They literally signed this deal last week, right before Mega Leadership.
Yeah.
So they're just finalizing the info and they will push it out to you. And it is at a pro level. So if you are paying for a pro account right now, you'll be able to save that $300 a year, and it'll be directly run through Command. So
and you put that money into
put that money into your $25 a month social media, and we're laughing, guys.
Yes.
But just so you know, if you do see that, it's not a rumor, that is actually verified by International. So that's a huge opportunity for us. And we're the only company in real estate that has that partnership. So that's even more awesome. So, all right, that's it on my
Did
social
you have
media.
anything to do with that?
Of course I did.
Of course you did. Okay.
Arranged the whole thing. I called Gary. I was like, listen, Gary, come on.
Let's do this.
Let's get
The
Canva.
other Gary.
The other Gary. Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff, Jen. Let's keep
Yeah.
moving along here with KWRC events. We got a special event next week, and a little special message right here from Andre Chin.
KWRC, pay attention. If you want to dominate your listing game and start winning more sellers, you need to be at Win with Sellers. Now, this is the workshop that's going to change everything. Here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about top agent strategies that land you the appointment and the listing every time. We're going to talk about bulletproof listing consultation that make your clients say yes. Now, this is how you're going to sell more, save time, and work smarter, not harder. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a new agent or a seasoned veteran. This is designed for you to level up fast. We're going to be giving away all the secrets that we use in our business. So go ahead and get registered for this one, and I'll see you next week. Looking forward to it. KW.
There we go.
Yeah, so we have our ALC. We wanted to continue building on the MREA model training. And so last month I did Win with Buyers. We reached out to Andre. If you haven't sat in one of his classes, you should. He's a phenomenal presenter. He's one of my favorite within the KW space right now. He hosts all of our leadership events. He hosts he's just phenomenal. He's a great speaker. He's a top producer. He has a team. He owns a brokerage. He has a family. He spends time with them. He builds a very balanced life. And also he just knows how to get a great message across and make it simple and make the systems easy to understand and follow. And I don't know an event that I've been at with some of our agents where someone hasn't said to me after the fact, when I was in Andre's class, he said this and it impacted my business in this way. I hear that all the time. And he's only been here like 3 times.
Yes.
So it is a huge opportunity. Right now we need to know how to work with sellers. We need to know how to have the hard conversations, the pricing conversations, the pricing adjustment conversations. We're seeing it all happen all the time. It's a tough market. It's a huge resource. So please go register. It's next Wednesday. It's from 12 to 3. There will be food. If that gets you here, we'll give you some pizza. It's all good. But no, quite frankly, guys, you need to be here. This is a huge piece for your business in a challenging market. And he's going to speak to that at a high level. So, Andre, if you want, if you want to add anything.
Absolutely. And he's also our fill-in for the podcast, for the Not So Black and White podcast. So that goes without saying. He's really good. Absolutely, he's one of the best in the space. He's going to be coming down from Kitchener to spend some time with us next week, Wednesday. So please register for this session. It's going to be outstanding because in this market right now, we're getting those listings, but the listings are sitting on the market, and those conversation and that price reduction or how to readjust our position in the market, we're going to be learning that Win with Sellers.
Yeah. And guys, it is in person only, just so you know, there is not a Zoom option for this event. You are going to learn more and grow more and just take more out of being in the room. So take the time off, get in here, block it for your business and learn from one of the best leaders in Canada right now, quite frankly.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Brooks Farm family event. What a mouthful. So on May 31st, the brokerage has booked Brooks Farms for you as a social event. Go out and market it to your database. Okay, we've sent out the emails. We've given you social media posts. We've given you Facebook posts. We've sent you a flyer. Put it out as your own event. Okay, we don't want the credit for it. The whole point of this event is that you get face-to-face time with your database. You get to engage with them. You get to invite them for $0. And you get to treat it like it's an event that you're organizing for them as a thank you for the continual support of your business or the future support of your business. We know getting FaceTime with our clients increases our referral rates. That's why we do it. We want to help you grow your business and continue to have different leverage tools that allow you to just focus on being in person, engaging with your database and not worrying about the organization of the event. So it is Saturday, May 31st from 10 to 3. There is a petting zoo. There is a kids play area. There's a whole bakery. There's an ice cream shop. There's a ton of food there and different menu items. We're going to have free coffee and free tea for everybody as well. So your guests can get that. And we do have our own private entrance and pavilion. So if you want to set up a table, if you want to hand out gifts or giveaways to your clients as they come in, you can certainly do that. We just need to know so we can set up a spot. You are responsible for your own registration. However, by the 25th, we do need to know a number count just so we can confirm with the farm. So if you are pushing it out, please collect your own RSVPs and then let us know by the 25th. Or I guess we could push it a little if you guys need more time. We could say the 27th to let us know what those numbers look like. It can grow from there. We won't stop you, but we just need a rough idea. So please, please, please leverage this event for your database. It's why we do it. It's for you. It's for your business. Go get FaceTime with your clients. And then we do have the charity golf tournament with Volpe Alcorn, the Fairway to Heaven tournament. We had Riley and Stevie talking about the impact of that and the value of it last month. We are putting all of our support behind this as a brokerage. We're not doing our own golf tournament. We're going to be leaning into supporting the charity golf tournament that they are hosting on Friday, June 13th for Ovarian Cancer Canada in memory of Riley's mom. So if you haven't registered yet, if you want to sponsor a hole, if you want to just show up and have dinner or do anything like that, those are all options. Go to the QR code, check out Eventbrite, look at the page, and let's support our own family, our own community, because they're going out and doing something that truly matters and something that is close to home and close to their heart. And we want to make sure that we're showing up to support them in that endeavor. So June 13th. All right. John.
Good stuff. Broker record time. What do we got? Mr. Broker, here we are. How you doing, Jonathan?
This is your Mr. Broker record, Gary? I'm so glad I speak Canadian.
Hey.
Back when I first started in real estate, I remember there was questions whether we should take pictures of the interior or not. And Trev used to take pictures of the exterior driving around town with all the listings. Isn't that interesting? Now we have, videos, we have walkthroughs, we have, virtual reality, and then we have social media. I'm really curious in the next 5, 10, 15 years, how our industry will evolve to have something that's really like Star Trek or Star Wars type of virtual reality or something. But it's in a span of just a short 25 years, we've had all this change. So I really, really am looking forward to what's to come in real estate. Today, I am, for all of you guys, I am warm and fuzzy. Jen, ask me why. I am warm and fuzzy because you guys, our agents, have been by far the tops. More than anyone that I know, any brokerage, any agent that I know, have been compliant to the nth degree. I just really want to give you guys, an applause, because what's coming through in the last few weeks since the last team meeting that we've had, it's just been excellent. Like, I don't want to say this, but I'm almost going out of a job. Or I should say Gail, because Gail's our compliance advisor. However, it is an amazing feat that you guys have been coming with your documents, being on time and in compliance to everything that our office, the Office of the Broker of Record, and Rico, Aurea, everybody else has been really asking our brokerage and everybody else in the industry to comply with under TRESA and under the new rules and regulations of the Toronto Real Estate Board. So I really want to commend you for all that effort. So thank you so much for that. If I can get my iPad to work. And after that, I have, last week we had Beta from Stonegate Real Estate Services, or Paralegal Services, Legal Services, I should say. She and her husband, Robert, touched upon everything that has to do with tenants and landlords. And I've been fielding a lot of calls from you guys with regards to tenancy, when it comes to landlord issues, the Tenancy Act. So we're going to be inviting them back again, and I'll speak to Jen about the schedule. But please attend, because I know that the last time we had a lot of turnouts, but there's a lot of agents who had questions that couldn't make it. So come to the next event and we'll schedule that in. And so Robert had just an amazing amount of information. So please make sure to come and attend for that. I did have an HST sort of like a question and answer for you guys. So is HST applicable in any of the transactions that we do in residential? I know in commercial, there's always HST, but in residential, with the onset of Airbnb and short-term rentals, when there's transactions on short-term rental residential property, HST may be subject to, the tax, the HST tax. Just an FYI, and you really should look into talking with your accountant as well as a lawyer. But for those of you who own long-term tenanted properties for investment, they're not subject to HST. It could be 100% rented out, but that in itself is not subject to HST. It's just a short-term rental, and they must be the landlords of the short-term rental must be registered with HST as a HST registrant in order to sell and buy and be applicable with the HST. For more information on that, you can reach out to me, but please do reach out to the accountants and the lawyers during a transaction, to be clear. But it's pretty short today. Jen? Yes. Yes, Susan.
Does that include owner occupied if you're doing everything? You know.
Perfect question. The question was, is that applicable to owner occupied properties for short term versus long term? Under the short term, if you rent it out for more than 50% of your property, then it is. If it's not more than 50%, then it isn't. It also applies to whether you are an HST registrant or not. Okay. Back to you, Jen.
Thanks.
Excellent. Hey, Jen,
I'm back.
you're back. Guess who's up next? First of all, we should always highlight everything that your favorites. They're both your favorites, I should say. What did you call them earlier?
Matt and Gizzy. Yeah, I know.
There
And
you
then
go.
John
There-
and Brock. I don't know what's happening. It's Dylan and Matt.
Let me tell you, my friends, the amount of work, and a lot of you know that I used to jump into the economics of real estate and host monthly workshops and seminars for my investors. It doesn't take 10 minutes to put something together. It takes a tremendous amount of time and effort, and having your ear to the ground and knowing what to read and what to filter out and getting rid of that noise. And Matt and Dylan do a tremendous job of this every single month. You might not need to retain the hour-long webinar that they do, but those 5 minutes that is very specific to your area or something that you're working with right now can be incredibly impactful to you and your clients. So make sure you're tuning into that, and this is the playlist for that every month. So make sure you're using that. And speaking of economics, how's that for a segue, Nicole? Make sure you're unmuted
Sorry,
there.
there we go.
There we
I was like,
go.
perfect segue.
Perfect segue. Talk to us what's going on in the world of mortgages and everything like that, Nicole.
So it's still, well, I think if we remember kind of from the event last month, the word we're supposed to be using is interesting. It's interesting, right? It's an interesting market. And we continue to see a lot of just overall confusion amongst your clients in terms of what's going on. So I really want to emphasize that, like on my side and my team's side, it is still really, really pushing, having conversations with those clients to remind your clients that there are still a lot of opportunities right now, and we can't base their goals and everything on these short-term sort of market swings and things like that. So it is really, over the last few weeks, it's still doing this. Like I'm still continuously seeing activity. But that said, clients are kind of popping in and out. So it's, a lot of them are just kind of going back to this whole rate obsession where it's like, oh yeah, maybe we're just going to hang out a little bit and see what happens with rates. And I cannot emphasize enough, and I've said this before, I think it was last month, there is, keeping with that confusion, seems to be a lot of confusion out there where a lot of your clients that I'm talking to are seeming to think that rates are continuously on the decline, and we continue to see fixed rates actually the opposite swing. So we've seen nothing substantial. We're not seeing any crazy increases, but they definitely are higher than they were a few weeks ago, and they've been sitting sort of consistently higher. So right now, it's not unheard of to see rates potentially in that high threes, but most lenders for traditional lending are sitting in that low fours again. So, we're kind of seeing that space. Right now, if we look at what's happening with the bond market and our lovely inflation data that we just saw, a couple days ago, it's deceiving. It's mixed messaging. And so, on the, looking at it at the forefront, we're seeing, okay, hey, we're seeing ease, we're seeing, decrease in terms of the overall inflation rate. But at the same time, too, if you look at the, messaging behind it and you really look at the sort of, bulk of what's happening behind it, the messaging is not the most positive, in my opinion. It's still, kind of a little bit confusing to say, okay, hey, we don't know if is it next week, June 4th, next week, 2 weeks from now, the next Bank of Canada announcement, it is still kind of up in the air, depending on who you talk to, which economists you listen to. It's getting, more so towards the fact that we're thinking it's going to hold. I personally think that we'll hold next on the next announcement in terms of not seeing another decrease. Again, depends on who you speak to, but it's just, again, it's deceiving, and it's really, important that your clients are speaking to either myself or your, financial professionals to really, really understand, because it's, especially if we look at the first-time home buyers, that continues to see in my book of business, as well as, many of the conversations I'm having with lenders and insurers, the bulk of the business that we are seeing right now over the last, since basically December, is your first-time home buyers, that we're really starting to see. So we want to continue to push that. We want to make sure we're having those conversations to help keep them in a positive mindset, despite all this noise that's happening. So, with respect to the rates as well too, I want to remind you guys that I mentioned that the fixed rates have kind of continuously been going up, or at least up and down, more so on the upswing. But I want to remind you guys that despite the fact that we have seen the decreases in the Bank of Canada, the prime rate, for several months now, the reason why those interest rates are a little bit misleading is because the discounts that the lenders give clients that are based off of those variable rates continue to get smaller and smaller. So whereas, several months ago we had discounts at 1% off prime, 0.9% off prime, you're seeing an average of 0.4 to 0.5 off of prime right now. So even though those Bank of Canada rates are actually decreasing, the overall rates are still getting a little bit higher in the variable rate space, simply because those discounts are getting smaller. So these are the kinds of things that, again, your clients are sitting there saying, oh, we're waiting for rates to continue to drop, and none of it really makes sense to do, right? We need to kind of bring them back to help them understand sort of what's happening there. And I want to kind of just pivot a little bit to talk to you really about what I'm seeing kind of the most troubling on my side right now over the last little while. It's really, and this is actually perfect segue from the Win with Sellers that's happening next week, is in that sales space. So clients that are selling and buying. There has been a lot of sort of stresses that are coming from this sale and bind kind of combination, wherein I shouldn't say not the right amount of due diligence, but it's coming to my attention that, a lot of the due diligence that needs to be done on the sale, like the actual logistics of a sale and a buy, is not being done. And so what's happening is that, clients are, or you guys are relying on the fact that clients have a certain amount of down payment, or, everything is good to go in terms of their pre-approvals and things like that based on these sales. And, we have to remember that in a situation where a client is selling and buying, 99.9% of the time, that that pre-approval is based on the actual sale. We have to have proof of that sale, typically with most lenders, 3 to 4 weeks, and the average sort of rule is 30 days prior to your closing. So if you don't have an SPP clause in your agreement or anything like that, that pre-approval is 100% based on that sale. So if we're continuing to see the challenges with selling right now in some market centers, in some areas, that is causing a big issue with this overall sort of process. So it's extremely important that when you guys are working with your financing professionals, that you are speaking to them and understanding that, does the client have a backup if this sale doesn't come through, right? Like if we're not putting those SPP clauses in there, if do they have a backup? Do we absolutely have to make sure that that sale happens in advance? And if so, what is your deadline? Because this is causing a big issue with a lot of the deals that I'm seeing right now, or calls that I'm getting last minute saying, hey, this property hasn't sold, or we weren't as conservative as we should have been with the potential, sale proceeds, and things are kind of falling apart. So I don't want to scare you guys. It's not meant to be the bearer of bad news, but it is something I'm seeing on a regular basis right now. Again, as always, feel free to give me a shout if you have any questions and you just want to pick my brain on something, but please do be mindful of that. That's all I
Okay,
really
I'm going to ask the question that I love asking every month because it changes. It often changes. Timing on approval. So my buyer client's just got an accepted offer. What's the window that our financing conditions should be, or how long, Nicole?
So in terms of the financing condition, typically 5 days is more than enough. Like in terms of the actual condition, I don't even need the 5 days in terms of getting the approval for the most part, unless there's some, sort of crazy, sorry, let me actually preface this by saying this is traditional lending. So regular lending, the regular banks, nothing fancy. 5 days is more than enough. But again, it's not because I need, or your other brokers should need more than a few days to get the actual approval. It's because in my business right now, it is absolutely imperative to me that I am using those 5 days to get your appraisals done. Even if you don't feel that there's going to be an issue with it, I want to have your appraisal done within that time frame. So depending on some of the areas and some of the more rural areas and things like that, I can't just get an appraiser out there within a day or so, right? Like it takes time. So we want to really, really maximize that time. So you still should be fine with the 5 days. If there's anything more complex or depending on the area and we think an appraisal is going to take longer, then I would ask for more. If it's a very, very straightforward deal and we think it's going to be an insured deal, so less than 20%, and we're not really concerned about an appraisal at all, we can do a 3 days if you want to be a bit more competitive. But yes, most of the time, the time frame that we want is so we can get appraisals done right now. Separately from that, alternative lending, so some of the B lending or some of the credit unions, even on the traditional side, there are lenders that are taking 5 to 7 days to pick up and issue an approval right now. So it is really lender specific. So again, this is where it's important to please make sure you're doing a touch point and a check-in before you make an offer, because just because myself or your other broker told you that hey, you're good to go and we don't see any issues, if you have a unique property that might need a specific lender in terms of appetite, then that could change the fact that I need, I told you could do it in 3 days versus needing 7 days. So, just make sure you're doing that quick check-in as well.
Excellent. And we should all preface that with, you need the 5 days or thereabouts. And that's based on you already having all of that information prior.
100%. Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those weeks where I think I have 3, maybe even 4 right now, deals that just came at me this weekend. And it's like, okay, hey, we're putting in an offer. And I'm like, I haven't seen anything. Like I'm jumping on the call with a client for the first time. And I'm like, can I get this done? And you guys know this. Can we get this done? Yes. Is it ideal? No, because it truly doesn't help for the client experience either, because I can do this all day. I do this with my eyes closed. It doesn't stress me out, but it will stress your clients out if now, they spoke to the bank, a couple days ago when they just happened to go in and, just be getting money out, and the bank's like, oh yeah, no problem. We can get this for you same day. They don't tell them all of the documents they need until after. And most of the time that after is after you've already waived your financing. So, it's when I tell a client that I need their tax documents, for example, and they send me a screenshot of the picture of the, 1 page of the income that they need, and I tell them, no, I need the full 35 pages, that stresses people out. And not only that, depending on your client, they may not be tech savvy. They may not have digital copies. They may have used an accountant that's sitting in their office with, a million old school files behind them and no soft copies. So these are the kinds of things that, can I get something done in a couple days? Yes. But if I can't get the information I need, I can't help you. Right. So, can we pull these things off? Yes, but it's not ideal for any of us.
Yeah, exactly. You said something really important there. You can do this all day. We do this all day, every day. And we often, as realtors, mortgage brokers, being in the industry, we forget our clients might do this once every 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So it is sometimes stressful for them, or all the time.
Yeah, this literally just happened to me last night. I was on a call that I honestly thought would take me 15 or 20 minutes. It was something I was trying to pick up and save. It's already in the middle of a condition of financing. I'm like, yeah, no problem. They told me they had sent the information to the bank. So I was like, okay, you have everything. I'm not exaggerating. I did not get off the phone until I think it was close to 10 o'clock last night. It was an over an hour call because I was walking through the clients like on a Zoom, trying to help them like call their account, like everything, because it should have been something super quick and it was the virtual opposite of that.
Okay. Good
So-
stuff. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
No,
want to
no,
make
no.
sure we answer Dylan's question here because I did say we had some time for questions. Dylan's asking, how are you, and this is in relations or in context to working with other lenders. How are you finding working with Home Trust these days? Is there any particular challenges or approvals, extra time?
Home Trust is horrible. I will avoid Home Trust at all costs. Sorry, it's just
I wish you would just say what you thought. You know, Nicole?
Tell us how you
I'm
really
so-
feel.
It's so
and you guys know me because anytime when I'm speaking like this with us, I can be so straight up. When I was at the event, the Thrive and Drive last month, I was trying to be so careful on that panel because I needed to like filter myself in terms of what I really wanted to say because I had a lender and an economist beside me. So I love when I can just speak openly. Yes, horrible. Don't send it there. Home Trust is really only ever needed for a very, very niche type of either property, or it's almost like if nobody wants to touch it, you kind of send it to Home Trust. So unless you absolutely need it, but they are a perfect example. Thank you for bringing that up. They are one of the lenders that are taking over a week to pick up. Like you can't get a 5-day condition of finance. They just won't do it. Like they'll just be like, oh, get an extension. So perfect example, because if I know we need to use them, I would tell you, well in advance, I need, typically 10 days. Yeah.
Excellent. Nicole, as always, thank you for everything that you're doing and supporting and educating our clients and the like. So thanks so much.
Of course, anytime.
Good stuff. Colin, I'm going to flip the screen here, and I don't know if you know that this is coming. I know I said to Jen that we're going to do this, and she's like, oh, okay. But this is important because we all know someone that's going through or getting their license, has just got their license. Jen and Dylan have put together an outstanding webinar on really what to expect in your first 90 days and the like.
Thanks for bringing this up, Gary, because right now what we're doing is just educating anyone who just got their license. And we're also teaching them some of the pitfalls to avoid some of the, yes, you're right, some of the pitfalls to avoid within that first 90 days and how you can set up your business to be successful. We all know of someone who's getting into the industry who are at the stage where they're writing their exam. Send this to them. It's 35 minutes of content of just what they need to be successful the first 90 days. Jen and Dylan, they've done an outstanding job, and I thank you guys for putting this together. And this webinar is running every day, three times a day. So it's just a powerful webinar. So if you know of someone, send them this link. So that we can just educate them. Our goal is just to raise the level of professionalism in the industry as well. So
excellent. Good stuff, Jen and Dylan. Okay, save the date. As you can see here, Win with Sellers. That's coming up next week. Make sure you get your seat for that with Andre. And we've all heard it before. Let me tell you, my friends, he is not only is he a great step-in co-host for our podcast, he is an excellent communicator and trainer. And of course, as Jen explained here, we got the Brooks Farm KWC family event. That is a mouthful, but this is the best part. We love to learn and utilize leverage. This is a great way that that we can do that. Not always can we go by ourselves, rent, a farm or a building or a movie theater, but when we can do it together as a big group, it's much more economical and feasible and makes the whole day that much more fun when we have lots of people there. So leverage that. Jen, talk to us about the appreciation patio party.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be real fun. June 26th in the afternoon, I believe it's from like 1 to 6 p.m. We have rented out the entire main floor of Old Flame Brewery. We're going to be hanging out on Main Street. There's going to be food. There's going to be some games. There's going to be obviously some drinks there. Come hang out with us. I took it to our ALC. I was like, what do you want this to look like? And they're like, we just want to hang out. be social, have fun, spend some time together. Obviously, Old Flame is an awesome spot. We love to support it, and they have great beer, so that does help. And then you're on Main Street. So if you want to go out for dinner after, you want to do anything like that, of course, you can keep that party going and head out down the street and grab some food in one of the amazing restaurants we have in our local New Market area. So it's going to be a really fun day. We're going to be pushing out more information. I know there's been a lot lately, so we're trying to minimize how much we're inundating everybody with. But it's going to be hopefully a nice sunny day at the end of June where we can have the patio doors open and just sit and hang out and chill,
Fun.
have some
And-
fun. Yeah.
And there you go. Sign up for Ben's event on June 11th. I know it says 20 free tickets, but I don't know if you heard it, folks, but when he was here, he said he'd get everybody in there. So make sure you get signed up for Ben's event. Like we said before, it is. I've not heard anyone that has had anything negative to say about it. And if you allow yourself, it'll be transformational attending one of his events. Excellent opportunity. My friends, always good to hang with you. Have an amazing end of the month. And we look forward to seeing you at our next team meeting. Bye for now.
Bye.